Hello and welcome to another side play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Shelter. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it for free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, then you can go to Patreon, which is $5 a month. And earlier kind of depends on things, because sometimes it's like maybe a month and sometimes it's more than a month. It kind of depends on when the next one comes out. So, on the last side play, we, being Alon, went through, I think we already went through the, wall that's both physical and not physical, and then went into a grate which went down, 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 deep into the grove, where we met an interesting figure, or figures. That being a guy with dogs. Not, regular dogs like this guy right here, but dogs that walked on 4 legs. And this guy didn't have a tail. Also, he had a mask on. And also, he had this strange meat that tasted weird. Because it might actually be meat. But enough about all that stuff that happened on the last thing. We are going to reset our face. And continue. No tail. We followed him through the darkness and gloom, illuminated only in small part by his relic beam of white light. They call it a flashlight or something? I don't know, something like that. I could see the contours of the metal constructions all around us, but even with the knowledge I have right now, I wouldn't have been able to describe you exactly what I saw. It's like... No, I really can't. But yeah, General Gunner's like, well, you want to understand all this stuff and not have anything hidden from you? Here's this guy and all this stuff. To young Alon, wipe your feet. A bright beam reflected over the metal grate, and the observer pulled out a rag to wipe his dog's little misshapen feet, before finally pulling the heavy door open and letting them run inside. With Gunner's help, we got both of our feet cleaned with his handkerchief, and we followed closely behind. The observer had changed his heavy boots into cozier looking slippers. The inside of the building was spacious and barely lit, with some relics I never saw again until I came to Shelter much later. A handful of magic-powered knickknacks with no obvious purpose. Like a fidget spinner? The further we walked, the more peculiar it grew. We were in a wide hall filled with tall bookshelves, each of them holding rows of leather-clad books. There were numbers and words written on the spines using mostly familiar letters, but I couldn't understand any of those words. At first, I thought maybe it was all in code, but now I know. It was a different language. Something called French? A foreign tongue used by the same system of signs as our own for some reason, save for a handful of editions. Journals, hundreds upon hundreds of them, each and every one written by the same hand. Eventually, we started passing empty shelves, and then made a turn for the entrance of a smaller room. The dark, wooden door contrasted with the metal halls, like it wasn't meant to be installed there. Hey, it kind of looks like what's-his-name's room. As soon as we opened the door, the observer's dogs ran inside with excitement, and we followed closely behind them. Gunner's presence gave me some comfort. The mysterious man took a small metal rectangle out of his pocket and conjured a flame out of it with a gentle flick, illuminating the room with a couple of candles on a wooden desk by the wall. The contours of wooden, metal, and leather furniture finally came into full view, basked in the warm light. It smelled like his room. I always preferred flames over white light. It's cozy, natural. Few things in this world weird world are. She sells seashells by the seashore. I should probably do that at some point. Also, did they change the interface here? Oh, huh, they did. With a quick click, the white stream from his magic artifact ceased, glowing, and as suddenly as it was conjured. I can read. Personally, I thought the white light was pretty cool. Sit. As the observer rested in the wooden chair by the desk, his dogs lay down on the floor by his feet. Since the start, none of the 3 canines had uttered even a single word. Were their minds actually too primitive to even comprehend the language? Or were they not allowed to speak? That I did not know. Glancing around the room, I was deciding on where to sit down. I liked his bunk bed, and for a moment I considered climbing the ladder to check it out, but in the end I decided that could be rude. The couch it was then. It didn't look like any leather I've seen in the castle. Texture and smell. It felt new but comforting to me. I wonder if it's like in this world's leather is like, I don't know, made from leather trees, but this guy's couch is made from like, you know, our kind of leather. I approached to touch it, but no. Not on the couch. You have the whole floor. What? I don't want your fur all over my furniture. I stared at him wide-eyed, at a loss for words, from the sheer disrespect. Nobody had ever spoken to me like that before. I looked at Gunnar. But, as displeased and embarrassed as he looked, while avoiding my stare, he obediently unfastened his crimson cape and spread it in the middle of the floor for me to sit on. Gunnar. It is fine. I am at your side, my king. But, please, do not be offended. It is not a big deal, really. It was weird seeing Gunnar acting so obedient. Back at the surface, he wouldn't stand for even a sliver of disrespect against me. There, underground, he sounded weak. I was equally offended and confused by the observer's behavior. Anyone else in the kingdom would be honored to be blessed with strands of my fur over their couch. But since every other canine in the room listened to the master of this dungeon, I decided to follow suit. I carefully approached Gunnar's folded cape on the floor and sat down. It was thick and soft, and made for surprisingly good seating. Oh, thank God, he listens. I mean, I knew he would this time, but Jesus Christ, finally, who was this Jesus Christ? Took us a while, huh? Why can't you always be like that? What do you mean? Observer. Yeah, don't mind me, I'm just rambling. I'm just so thrilled to finally see such a good, obedient puppy, that's all. Obedient puppy? Don't you think you're being a little too casual, Sir Observer? Too casual? The dog? Gosh, you're cute. How highly you all think of yourselves. I could hear the metal mask reverberating in his mocking laughter. I kept glancing at Gunnar, but he kept quiet. I couldn't stop irritation growing inside of me, and before my guardian could stop me, I barked at our host. Bark, 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 bark. I'm not a puppy to you, and I'm not a dog. I'm a wolf, and it is time you started showing me and General Gunnar obedience yourself, stranger. My liege, please. It's okay, General. I assume he is not aware, so I shall grant him pardon this time, but I think we owe him proper inductions. I am in fact the ruler of the Crimson Royal Grove, O Sir Observer. I am King Oh, I know who you are. Do not worry. I know you better than you know yourself. You do? Of course. You don't know that, but I've been taking care of you ever since your birth. Even much longer than that, actually. And now, you're finally here with me. Because you haven't been acting entirely like a good boy the past few weeks, and you need a little correction, don't you? What? No, that's not why I came. I came here because General said there were questions only you could answer. Same thing, really. Your curiosity, and something we definitely have to address. But first, tell me, who gave you that book, little puppy? A friend. Oh, a friend? It was Burry Tangleroot, the Saint Bernard dog. Yes, I know. The young and promising scholar researching corruption for us. He has been helpful and loyal all this time. I still can hardly believe he would rebel like that without obvious signs. And you, how is it possible you didn't see that coming? How? Are you forgetting his role, Gunner? Corruption, ablaze, they come hand in hand, as you are well aware. The very nature and purpose of his research is to bear open that which is still blurred to me, so no wonder. I couldn't foresee that before, but now I can certainly see it. The longer we use Burry Tangleroot to research those fields for us, the more he's going to grow out of our control. Shall I do something about him? No. He's not as readily replaceable as the others. This one accident with the prince was part of the calculated risk. A small price for the answers that dog has brought us and is still yet to unveil. Shame, though. I considered bringing him here if he proved himself more trustworthy. God knows how much we need people like him. No, I can't. Unfortunately, we'll need to replace him. Carefully. But not before he gives us a few more answers I want. Let him keep working now. We're going to squeeze more value out of him, while slowly draining his spirits in a way he can't pose a threat even after he's gone. I already know his weakness. You'll see what I mean. For now, observe him while I decide on a successor. I wonder who that would be. You want to do something to Burry? Gunner, why? My apologies. We ought not to discuss details of those matters here. Yeah, after all, you didn't come all the way down here for us to talk about Burry. We're here to talk about you. But Burry didn't do anything wrong. You can't punish him. I can't? You still don't understand who you're dealing with, do you? Don't mistake my kindness for weakness, Dog Prince. I flinched as, with a weak twist of his hand, a silver coin appeared between the observer's fingers, a basic sleight of hand technique. The coin was so well polished, it reflected the light off the candle like a tiny mirror. But yes, I am indeed kind, and patient, and a little bored. So how about you play a game with me? A game for your friend's fate. He tossed the coin to me, but I was too clumsy to catch it. Gunner picked it up, wiped it, and gave it to me. It had an eagle on the front and some kind of weird-looking thing on the front. I was trying to make a quarter joke. The chance of correctly guessing 10 random coin tosses in a row is roughly 1 in 1,000. That's a lot, right? It's cute how you dogs speak and act like people, but you can't understand big abstract numbers. No, that's not a lot, but very little. Toss the coin and I'll guess the result. If I'm wrong even a single time out of the 10, I lose. A 1,020 1,023 to 1 chance in your favor. Statistically, you're near guaranteed to win. And if I do, you swear to leave Burry alone? I do. I swear I will. But if, despite all odds, I still manage to guess all 10 tosses correctly, you'll listen to what I have to tell you. No interruptions, no tantrums, full focus. Just that? Oh, you would be surprised how hard it is to get a child to listen sometimes. But, you're right. I should ask more, with chances as unlikely as that. I really want to boop your snoot. It's so pink and cute. But you can't boot the king's snoot, or princess. So how about you let me have that, and then we'll get back to talking. How about that? Holding the coin in my shaking hands, I look at Gunnar. The expression of discomfort on his face was glowing more severe with every passing moment. Observer, this is not necessary. He will listen, as I asked him. Right, my king? Seeing Gunnar's pleading eyes, I considered conceding for a moment. However, for some reason, I knew the observer's mask's hollow eyes made me angry. He was so confident, so abrasive. With a quiet growl, I tossed the coin. Heads. The coin fell on the floor. It spun for a short moment. Ooh, doghead. And tumbled flat down, showing heads. Tails. I flicked the coin up harder, spin it so fast that it appeared to me like a half-transparent metal ball. It bounced on the floor. Do I need to censor that? I don't know. I mean, it could be anything, It landed on Tails. Lucky so far, huh? Next, heads and heads. I paused for a moment before grabbing the coin and giving it a quick toss. Then another. Heads. Heads. How are you doing this? The next 5 are heads, heads, tails, tails, and tails. I couldn't understand what was going on, but I knew there had to be some kind of dirty trick involved, a way of manipulating the spin of the coin, or the weight of one side. I wonder if it's the same way that we are able to do it with Elon, because, I don't think you can roll back, or maybe you can, but if you, remember the coin thingies, you can just, get out of his little thing. I tossed the coin, but I didn't let it fall. Instead, I grabbed it while it was spinning in midair. I opened my palm. The head side was facing me. I was starting to feel panicked and desperate. I carefully held the coin with my fingers, making it face up before letting it fall without spinning. It still bounced and rotated, just enough to land on the head side, just like predicted. With a growl, I grabbed the silver coin and ran out of the room, tossing the metal disc across the long corridor between the books filled with shelves. Once I finally caught up to the shining coin, it was facing Tails. How? My heart was beating so hard in my chest, confused and terrified. It must have been something about this place, I thought. No other explanation. So, I closed my hands around the coin and tossed it between them. Then, without even looking at it, I spun it between my fingers, over and over and over and over, without letting go of it for a single moment. Still, holding firmly to the coin, I finally allowed my sight to fall on it. I felt like yelping when it was Tails. The coin slipped between my weak, trembling fingers and bounced against the floor, spinning rapidly over its own edge with a sharp sound, before finally resting tail side up. There's still one final toss left. Are you curious what it's going to be? It will be heads. Do you want to toss it, or should I? The observer bent over and picked up the coin. He offered it to me. I looked away. Didn't want to touch it. This is not what I came here for. I know, but it's a good eye-opener, isn't it? If you want knowledge, you'll have it in spades, and I'm more than happy to share it with you, if only you're open enough to listen. As for what you think you came here for, you want to ask me about Moon. You felt sad about the ending to the Noon Moon story. You remember seeing Dune Moon by your crib on the day of your rebirth, and you want to know where he is now. That one blasted book Burry smuggled for you. It made you question your whole life. You can't unsee the secrets all others have been keeping from you anymore. By this point, you also finally realized I'm definitely not canine, and you're wondering what someone like me is doing burrowed all the way down under the capital. Also, you're scared of the way Gunner's been acting with me around. Yes, you are so very much scared. And I don't blame you at all. If you're not a canine, then how can you read my mind? I can't. At least, not without some read. But you told me all of that. I just saved us some minutes of your stuttering. No crying, though. You don't cry easily, do you? Either way, you're welcome. I told you? Who are you, really? Gunner, who's the observer? Gunner. The observer raised his free hand and brought it over my head. I swear, I saw the gloved tips of his fingers shine, and, for a very brief moment, his piercing irises reflected in the darkness with faint light. Please, be gentle. He's a good boy. Don't worry, Gunner. The moment his hand rests on my head, I felt like every strand of my fur electricized. For a moment, I lost feeling all over my body, while at the same time being more awake and aware than ever. At the corner of my eye, I saw a Gunner glowing in red light, while everything else became blurred. My awareness kept expanding, every breath in my lungs, and very flow of my blood in my veins. It felt like I was giving all those sensations my full attention tenfold over, all at the same time. Many disabled. I won't be any rougher than necessary. Then, everything mellowed down, and went back to normal as quickly as that happened. I could still feel the observer's hand in my head. He was petting me. Let's go back. Let's have our talk. He patted my head a couple more times, and then he booped my snoot with his finger. He put the silver coin back in his pocket before walking away, past Gunner, his 3 dogs bouncing around him excited, as if they couldn't read the room. Like if they didn't possess the gift of canine empathy. It do be like that, I guess. Though, I kind of wonder with that thing, if we should probably call it, because we're not at the 25-minute mark, which would be a decent time to call it, but that is entire scene change. And, who knows how much longer it could be. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this side play. It's kind of weird because sometimes I'm like, side play, let's play, da 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 da. It's like, what would I call it? But yeah. So please comment, cause I like comments. Tell me what you like, dislike, tips, tricks, otherwise. If you like my YouTube and would like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the videos to have it grow. And please remember to spay and neuter will your animals to help control the pet population. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and don't get the newest version earlier, like depending on how long it takes for them to make the newest version, then you can go to their Patreon, which is $5 a month. And until next time, on another side play by me, GamerWolfSix of Shelter, a game about knowing the truth. And we can't press right click, so I can't save. So, thanks and see ya.